Hi, everybody, and good Thursday evening to you. It is 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. You know what this is. It's weather for Weather Geeks, and once again this evening we've got plenty to talk about. Winter storm, perhaps even a major winter storm, is heading our way at the end of the weekend, and we'll talk about that in lots of detail in this video. We are behind schedule in terms of snow so far this season, that is for sure. We had very little snow in a lot of December. Even early January has not been particularly snowy at all, so about 15 inches shy of average at the airport. Look at Erie, 39.6 inches behind schedule in Erie, PA. One of the snowiest places in the lower 48 states is Erie, Pennsylvania, thanks to lake effect, of course. And the lake effect season has been kind of a dud so far for them, but I suspect that's going to change some with the snow that's coming over the weekend, and then plenty of lake effect opportunities with lots of cold air coming our way over the next couple of weeks. If you've been watching my videos and posts, you know that probably the coldest weather we've had in a couple of years is coming our way during that last 10 days of January. All right, today was kind of like yesterday, kind of ho-hum in the temperature department, warmer than average. Be nice if we had 68 like we did back in 2005, but 13 below the record low on today's date back in that very cold January of 1977. But today warmer than average, especially that low temperature, which was a good 14 warmer than average. We actually picked up officially at the airport. I'm a little skeptical of this, but picked up a half an inch worth of snow officially at the airport during the pre-dawn hours today. We had a little light snow, a little wet snow that moved through overnight, and officially a half an inch. But I got up this morning pretty early and looked at the web cameras up there, and there was not a half an inch of snow on the ground. So that will go into the record books as the official number at the airport today. A little bit of precipitation out there this evening. Now, at this time yesterday, it looked like the atmospheric conditions would be such that we would probably be able to squeeze out maybe a quick thump of wet snow this evening. Doesn't look like that's going to happen with lower precipitation rates, somewhat warmer temperatures both down here at the ground and aloft a little bit. So yeah, it's just kind of just a touch of rain, and yeah, you might see a few snowflakes this evening, but not expecting much in the way of impacts from this. This is a weather disturbance that's rotating through, and it will continue to rotate through over the next several hours, not much more than a flurry as we head through the overnight. Now, tomorrow is going to be a colder day, nothing unusual for January, but it'll be one of those days where temperatures don't move much. We'll drop down to about 28 tonight, might rise a degree or two morning and midday tomorrow, and then temperatures will start to tail off as we go into our Friday afternoon. There's our front. It'll come through with a little fanfare, just a lot of clouds for our Friday. We might see some clearing late in the day before clouds build back in for Saturday morning. Saturday morning is when our winter storm is really starting to get its act together out across the mid-Mississippi Valley with snow across the Ozarks, a little bit of snow in St. Louis. It'll have already left Iowa at that point, and as it draws in some Gulf of Mexico moisture, this thing will really start being a big problem by Saturday night in parts of the southeast. For us, the sky will clear Saturday night, and as a result, with high pressure building in, one of the coldest nights of the season so far is coming up Saturday night. Some backyard thermometers may be well down into the single digits late Saturday night. As that high builds in, we'll have clear skies, we'll have calm winds. We won't have snow on the ground, which would make it even colder. But yeah, it's going to be a cold night Saturday night into early Sunday. Here's Sunday morning's snapshot. Our winter storm just going gangbusters at this point down across the Tennessee Valley. Ice storm for parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. This could be a big problem for places such as Charlotte, maybe Raleigh as well. And the snow extending up towards the central Appalachians. It's going to take until evening before that band of snow starts to make its way into our area. All right, so let's talk impacts. The snow gets underway on average between 6 and 8 p.m. Sunday evening. Just after sunset in our southern viewing area, may take until 7:30 or 8, maybe even 8:30 or so to make its way all the way into northern Trumbull and northern Mercer counties. But once the snow gets going, it's going to go from fine to not so fine really quickly, and so with heavy snow at times overnight, travel will not be recommended. If you do absolutely have to travel, if you're coming home from work Sunday evening, if you're heading off to work for the overnight shift Sunday night, just plan on a slow trip, especially the later in the night you are out and about. Travel conditions will slowly improve Monday morning. The snow itself will probably taper off by about daybreak. Lingering travel issues, especially on those secondary roads, yeah, they'll be with us through at least midday, but I think flurries and snow showers will fade away pretty quickly by early in the afternoon. Thankfully, the wind won't be too much of an issue. It'll be a little breezy at times Monday, midday, and afternoon, but not crazy windy. The cold will actually be the bigger impact during the daylight hours on Sunday, especially first thing in the morning. Again, we'll be down into the single digits. All right, we have a few models to show you this evening. Really good agreement right now, the current runs of the what we call the operational GFS and the operational European model. When I talk about an operational model, that means kind of the parent run, the main run, if you will, of those two models. Those are represented by these big, ugly lines up here that get up to about a foot. That's the operational GFS and European. When you hear me talk about ensemble models, this is a useful tool for us to ascertain what the uncertainty in the forecast is at the current time. An ensemble model is basically you take the GFS or the European and you run it. In the European's case, 51 times. And with each of those runs, the initial weather conditions that are baked into the model are tweaked a little bit. And so then as the model is run out through time, a lot of times the eventual solutions that those models come up with diverge quite a bit based on those little initial tweaks to the initial formula, if you will, in the model. This is especially useful 3, 4, 5 days out. As we get into 1 or 2 days out, we rely less on those ensemble models and more on the operational runs. Anyway, the ensemble GFS is way down here, a little over 3 inches. The ensemble European model is also, it's not graphically displayed here, but it's also in a much more moderate category, if you will, than these operational runs that are way up here in their current state, most recent run. So here's what we've done as far as odds. Now we're going to put out a map tomorrow showing ranges across the area. But this is our first stab at taking a look at some odds, at some numbers. It's almost a certainty at this point that the entire TV viewing area, if you can see us on TV, if you are in far eastern Ohio, far western PA, near the Youngstown area somewhere, it's almost a guarantee at this point you're going to see at least an inch. Pretty good odds of at least 3 inches. Now, it's more of a 50-50 proposition at this point whether totals will exceed 6 inches in most of the area. And it's a 1 in 4 chance at this point that we have accumulations exceeding 9 inches. It's something that it's a non-negligible chance at this point. Now, when we put out the map tomorrow, we'll be able to hone in a little bit more on our viewing area and maybe divide it up a little bit. I kind of suspect amounts might be a little bit lower in our western viewing area and a little bit higher the farther east you go, and especially across the border into Pennsylvania. But we're going to get into those details tomorrow. But for now, generally speaking, this is what we think as far as the odds of certain accumulations. Now, the I'll believe it when I see it crowd has been very active on Facebook today, as it always is when it comes to wintry weather. And in a winter in which we just haven't had much snow yet, some people will not believe anything they see until it's actually snowing. There's nothing I can do about that. I just do my best and give the forecast to the best of my ability, and use all the tools at my disposal, and try to communicate as best I can what we think is going to happen. A lot of people think meteorologists are purposely hyping stuff and things like that. Nothing could be farther from the truth. We're 8 minutes into this video. Chances are, if you're still watching at this point, you're weather savvy enough and into the weather enough and interested enough that this is a scientific process, and I don't get paid any different either way. I just forecast what I think is going to happen, and nothing else really matters to me at this point. Anyway, one thing I wanted to show you before we leave this evening, something we call the national blend of models. This is where you take a lot of the major models and kind of blend them together to get one output. And this is for the duration of the storm, the trend over the last 9 runs of this model blend. And so let me play this through again. Let's start back. This was the national blend of models run Tuesday afternoon, about 48 hours ago, showing kind of a 1 to 3 inch snowfall for our region. But that was 48 hours ago. Let's now roll this forward and show you what the trend has been since 48 hours ago. We've started to really introduce, of course, some higher totals into the mix here in this model blend. In the most recent run, as you can see, near the Ohio-Pennsylvania border is it's a good 4 to 8 inches worth of snow. That's the most recent run. But there's definitely been a trend towards more snow with the last handful of runs compared to 48 hours ago. 48 hours ago, we were just kind of getting a handle on, hey, there's going to be a storm. On Monday, didn't look like there was going to be a storm at all, and it became much more obvious on Tuesday that, hey, this is going to be something we have to contend with. And now it's becoming obvious that this has the potential to be a big ticket item with high impacts late Sunday and into Sunday night, even into Monday morning. Anyway, another long video tonight. Thanks for hanging with me, and thank you, as always, for watching. Thanks to those who are watching who might not be from the Youngstown area. If you're watching from elsewhere across the region, thanks for tuning in. Again, most of my Weather Geeks videos are kind of geared towards far eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and I don't want to make this video a half an hour long, or else I'd speculate on some totals for western Ohio and Michigan and eastern Pennsylvania and places like that. But we want to keep our focus as much as possible on our television viewing area. Anyway, enough rambling for me. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you back here, same time, same place, on Friday.